here live today, Trauma Talk Podcast. We are Project Purpose. That's me and my partner Presto. And shout out to our partners over at Tricep. Today we're here to talk about trauma, as always. Things trauma could do, how you get through trauma, etc., etc. And I got a special guest in the building today. And let her introduce herself. What you go by, cuz?
My name Daryl, but they call me Wadud. I got that while I was in.
Okay.
It was real, unique name, Arabic name, but that's what they call me. But I appreciate to be here today with the brothers to help me out to get through this after a long time incarceration.
Okay. Let's start from when you got out recently. So, so far, how has the journey been on this side, like in the free world?
Well, the transition been good. But before I got here, I went through several other places, to get me prepared for this type of environment out here. Okay. Not being here for so long.
Okay.
So I need some type of guidance, some type of understanding what I'm gonna be facing.
Right.
So I had to go through a halfway house in there. I learned a lot in there about myself and about, the new world out here.
Right.
Because after decades of it, it was gonna be a new transition for me.
Right, yeah. I agree. So you do feel like the halfway house and the program before that, like before actually getting all the way free, do you feel like they helped you?
Yeah, it helped me because we had classes in there.
Okay.
In the classes, we had conversations about what we wanted out of life, what we was gonna do when we get out here.
Okay.
So I was around not several, but a couple of people who was in the same position as I was.
Okay.
But you also had people in there who was just to be in there for doing a year or so.
Oh yeah.
So they couldn't never, understand my struggle.
Right, exactly. Okay, so how was it, for instance, trying to work a phone, like a smartphone when you got out?
Well, I mean, it wasn't hard because, we had them in prison.
Yeah.
So it wasn't hard.
Yeah, right, okay. Yeah, that's true. What about far as, like social media? Like how hard was it to really grasp that?
Well, that's something I'm still working on, but there's a lot of new technology out here today. So that's what I had to, get people to help me with. But we all need help, so you did guide me through that. But I don't have everything yet.
Right.
So it's still, transitioning. It's still the process that I'm going through.
Okay. So far as, let's take it back a little bit. So when you got sentenced, what did you get sentenced to?
I got sentenced to double life plus 60 years, all running concurrent.
Okay.
So that was a hell of a shock to me because I was a young dude.
Right. Right.
Getting hit with all that time, my first time being sentenced to anything.
Okay, so when you hear this sentence, like when you're in court and they, sentencing day is here, and the judge lays down his sentence. Can you remember, like, what was your thoughts at the time, like hearing it? Like, did it feel real? Was it unreal? Like, it didn't kick in, or like, how did it feel for you?
It was unreal. I remember when he started with the first life. You know how they always want you to stand up while they sentence you?
Right.
I just fell back in the chair like, dang.
Yeah.
Life just flew past my eyes.
Yeah.
So it was hard on me.
Right. Yeah, I mean, understood. That's a lot of time for anybody, especially 2 lives plus 60.
Plus 60.
So leaving there, so you know how you get sentenced, then you go back to bullpen or whatever before you get transported back to jail. Like you gotta ride the bus or something, correct? Van or something.
Van. They had me by myself the whole time.
Okay, yeah. So can you remember like the mindset? Like what was you thinking on your way back from getting sentenced on the van? Like if you can remember, I know it was a while ago. You know what I'm saying, but.
I mean, I can remember because them thoughts always gonna be with me.
Right.
On the ride back, I was crushed, but I don't think I was so concerned about myself. I was concerned about my family, my mother.
Right.
At the time, because she just broke down crying, fainted. And she was going through a lot.
Right.
So it was myself, I knew what I was ready to deal with, but I put the love of my family first before myself.
Right.
That's why I don't think it hit me so hard until I actually started doing the time.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So see that's a part of the trauma right there. So not only, does our trauma affect just us, you know what I'm saying? It's also what they call a ripple effect. The effect, it go down to the family, like you said, mother, it could be kids, sister, family, like, when you having a family dynamic and you're a piece of it, then you just get snatched away from the family. Are you doing this sentence? What were some of the things you was into, like, to help you do your time?
I mean, when I first got started in the penitentiary, I was still, a knucklehead, so I still had them, street thoughts on my mind.
Right.
So, I mean, honestly, the first thought I had is how I'm gonna get out of prison.
Right.
So my first plan is, try to escape.
Okay. So
all that time, that's your life gone.
Right.
People don't do that much time.
Right.
I never heard of it. So when I first when I was doing what I was doing, I always thought I might do 5 years.
Okay.
Or something like that. Never thought I'd do double life. So when I got there, I got around guys my age, guys from around where I was from. So I was still acting like a knucklehead.
Right.
But once I started growing in prison, getting more wiser, I started seeing that the court system ain't for us.
Right. Yeah.
It's not, wasn't built for us.
Right.
So I said, we was spending money and we was losing money. Because lawyers are, the best hustlers.
Right, yeah.
So by them being the best hustlers, I started studying law myself. So I stayed in the law library. I stayed up in the gym. So I worked out, to get that through days.
Okay.
But more things, I stayed in the law books.
Okay. That sound about right. So if you could, can you give me a rundown of about how many different prisons you was in, like, throughout this 32-year incarceration?
I've been in probably all the prisons in the Maryland system.
Okay.
That'd be about 8 prisons.
Okay.
They sent me to one prison called North Branch.
Okay.
It wasn't even built yet. So it's this one building up, and they was still building it.
Okay.
And they took 39 that was out of, Jessup Annex, calling us the worst of the worst. So there, we was in a prison by ourselves that was still being built. So, that was, like, God damn.
Yeah.
And it was hard out there. Because
Okay.
now we were faced with all Caucasian officers. And, they was racist.
Right.
They ain't like us when we got there.
Right.
So we was already faced with that problem there first.
So, being in prison, you ever been, like, in the hole?
I try to stay. I've been in there, but that's just for assault on an officer.
Right.
But I ain't like assaulting, the men that was in the same boat as me.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I got away with things.
Right.
And I know how to get away with it.
Yeah, you know how to move. I understand that, and the reason I asked about the hole because I know I read this book called Solidarity Brothers, I believe, and it was about the brothers who escaped from prison and all that. But they was calling the hole the soul breaker. So I was saying, I know the hole could be a lot for somebody mental. You see what I'm saying? So I just wanted to know if you was in the hole, if you ever been in the hole, what were some of the things you did while you was in there to, like, keep you sane. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been in the hole a couple times myself, and I did a lot of reading, working out. I mean, you can't do too much in there anyway, because you know what I'm saying, it's 23 and 1. So how do you keep your mental fortitude in a situation like that?
But that's why I really started learning about self when I did go in the hole. So when I went there, I started saying, how can I get to the law library while I'm in the hole?
Okay.
How can I do these things that I really need to do to make myself move forward in life? And while you're in the hole, you really can't do these things. So you in there, and it's not hard, but it's hard because you're around other men that you know.
Right.
And they right next door, right across the hall from you. So we able to build, and keep each other heads above the water.
Right. That's true.
So in there, I also worked out. But one of the things I did was I read that helped me a lot.
Okay.
So the whole may help a man, more so than hurt him.
Right.
What I mean by help him, because he's there now, he can't get visits, he can't do these things that he used to doing. So then he got to really start concentrating on self and focusing on self.
Right.
And that's what I had to do, focus on self now.
Okay. Why you doing this bid, this time, this 32 years? At what point do you think that you had that mind change, like your mindset change, far as like the law library, or I need to focus more on getting out. Because like you said, at first, you go in and you kind of, you pick up the laws of the land, and you know what I'm saying, you still doing stuff because you like, I mean, I guess your mentality's a certain way, just coming in. But after a while, your mentality started to change. Like, what point was that for you?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying about on that aspect there. It's like people want to get out of prison.
Right.
But what are they doing to get out?
Right.
So, I filed petitions myself, and what crushed me so much is that I had the issues to get out,
right.
And the principle of law to get out. But once you get the letter back in the mail saying denied, that's what crushed a man.
Right.
I mean, some men took their life in prison because they thought they were never going to get out from all these denials. But in the Maryland system, Montgomery County system, that was one of the hardest systems to get out of prison.
Right.
So that's what made it so hard on me, is to get out of prison. So all these denials, and all these lawyers is robbing people.
Right.
So that's what made me get to the law library and fight even harder than losing all my loved ones. I lost all my cousins while I was incarcerated.
Right.
So I say, this guy make me want better for myself.
Right. Yeah.
We in there, we doing things that we doing. It's like we having fun in prison.
Right.
And people think it's hard in prison, but we having fun in it. We still young, we still doing things.
You learn to deal with the situation. You know what I mean?
And that's how we dealt with it.
Right.
So, but time is passing. 10 years, 15, 20 years passing. I'm still here doing the same thing. I said, man, I gotta get seriously into this law. And that's when I got serious into it. And started helping others with the law, because my job, somebody got me a job in the law library.
Okay.
And that's what I needed.
Right. Right. So, I mean, just for, people out there, it's always hope, man. Never give up, especially on yourself. And I said that in one of the songs, man, the God love yourself. Matter of fact, that's the song I said your name, man.
Right.
But I say, man, you never give up on yourself, man. You gotta keep fighting. You know what I'm saying? That's always, no matter what traumas or different things we go through, you gotta keep fighting, keep pushing. So, in prison.
Say this.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Even if you're not just fighting for yourself. You're fighting for your loved ones too.
Right.
Because that's what you're trying to get home to.
Exactly.
So it ain't always about us who did it. It's about our loved ones, like you said earlier.
Right.
So it's triple effect that goes down.
Right.
So that's what you're fighting for also. Dealing with myself.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of good men who did the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. So, speaking on the prisons, you said you've been to about 8 different ones while you was in over this time span. What you think was 1 or 2 of the worst ones that you was in? When I say worst, I mean, like jail versus like stabbings and killings and rapings and like racist, like COs. You know how the I don't know what they call the goon squad come in. You know how the goon squad come in, fight or something. They come in, everybody got to get on the ground. You know what I'm saying? They macing everybody, beating everybody up. You know what I mean? Like, what was 1 or 2 of the worst prisons you think?
As I mentioned earlier, one of the worst prisons that we went to was North Branch.
Okay.
And that was out Cumberland, Maryland.
Okay.
And that's when the white men out there was racist. You know what I'm saying? Not all white people racist, but they was out there.
These ones, right.
And they'll let you know, man, they don't like us. They let us know. They call us niggas. So, remember I said in the 39, they sent 39 of us up there. So one day, somebody asked for an ARP, because the CO disrespecting them.
Okay, and ARP is?
Something that you write up an officer with.
Okay, like
a
complaint form.
Complaint,
okay, yeah.
Complaint form.
Okay.
So he told the guy, taking and sticking up your ass. So we're all in the day room, because they only let us 11 us out at a time.
Okay.
So 11 us out is in the day room. So the guy come in there and say what the police said, and somebody's like, we're going to crush the police when we get out, when our time is up. So I had a good friend of mine in there. He know how hard I was working on my case.
Right.
So he was like, man, everybody stay in this day room. Y'all get y'all stuff to Wadud. And he told me to lock in. Right. Because he didn't want me involved in that, because he saw the path that I was going. Right. He know I would never pretend like I was a gangster or I was anything. Yeah. So that's how bad this prison was. When he came out, they got the police, went in the room. The rooms one at a time and beat them. Went in there with the shells. Yeah. Beat, like 6 or 7 of them.
Right.
You know, they got the time.
Right.
That's 9 years.
Mm-hmm.
But that was one of the worst ones. But even in the JCI,
Okay.
that's where all the stabbings was at.
Right.
Everybody was getting killed. I had a brother who got stabbed like 37 times. Took his eye out.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
JCI was one of the worst ones in the early years when we was, coming through in the early 90s and early 2000s.
Okay.
So them the worst, two worst.
What was the cut? I heard the cut. I heard that name.
Yeah, the cut. That was a prison that everybody wanted to be in, honestly.
Okay.
If you had to do time, they say you do time there.
Okay.
Because there you can get good jobs and make fair money to help you get lawyers. So, but it was also a lot of crime in there because there was too many hiding spots, that you can catch somebody.
Okay.
So that was a no. And that's right next to JCI.
Oh, okay.
But that's a place that everybody wanted to be. But that's when the really gangs started formulating and that's when they started coming together and one of them at the cut.
Okay.
But the cut was well known. It's shut down now after the police got killed in there.
Yeah, I heard about the cut all my life. Well, so with these experiences, all this whole prison thing that you went through, do you think like what was one of the biggest lessons that you learned from it?
One of the biggest lessons is that trust self first and believe in yourself.
Okay.
There's a lot of snakes in prison.
Okay.
And you gotta, somebody you cool with, you may have like just a handful of men. So trust and, and them and belief in yourself and what you can accomplish for yourself. So one of the things that I learned is to do for self first. Put self first.
Right. Sometimes you gotta put self first. I understand that. Also, you said you had an Arabic name?
Yeah.
Wadud. What do it mean in Arabic?
That's what I was in the Nation of Islam.
Okay.
So,
NOI.
NOI.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's why I got the name, and that means the very loving.
Okay, the very loving. NOI. So, did you find Islam while you was in prison?
Been found in prison.
Okay. Do you feel like it helped you?
It helped me a lot dealing with the discipline.
Okay.
Because in the Nation, you got to discipline.
Right.
You can't do things that other people do.
Right.
Like sell drugs and do crazy things that's, not that. You got to be on the right path. It's surviving with the king.
Right.
So it taught me a lot of discipline. That's why I think I survived in prison from that discipline that I had.
Okay.
That's what I should have said in the beginning.
Right. No, definitely. I understand. I just wanted to. I know a lot of brothers that could be wild. Wild on a path basically to destruction. But then when they find religion, most notably Islam, but it's a bunch of different religions. I've seen people find. What's the one? Jah. The one Rastafarian. I've seen people find Rastafarian in prison. I'm saying so, but these guys' attitude changed. Like what I mean, they the way they move changed, and I think the religion helps that. So that's always a good thing. Sometimes you gotta come closer to your higher power, and it put you on the right path. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
One of the biggest ones, religious groups in prison is the Sunni community.
Right.
So these are one of the biggest.
Mm-hmm.
So Nation of Islam, we was one of the smallest next to the Moor signs.
Next to the Moors, yeah. Yep. Peace more. Yep. So after 32 years prison, I'm sure that had to be traumatizing at some point. Even hearing the sentence is traumatizing. Even for me on the sideline, I just imagine I stood in front of a judge and got 120 months. You know what I'm saying? 10 years, and that was like, damn. You know what I'm saying? Like, can you see down the road 10 years? So to hear 2 life sentences plus 60, I'm quite sure that had to be traumatizing for. How old was you in this?
23.
23.
Yeah. So no light.
Yeah.
Down the tunnel. So no light.
Yeah, no light. So, what advice or words of encouragement or statements or quotes, what would you give to a youngster that's 23, that's in the same position that you was?
Best advice that you give them today, after me doing so much time, is that focus on yourself and get into that law library And it's most important, man, don't join no gang.
Right.
They take advantage of the youngins.
Okay.
Because they put them on the front line.
Right.
Now, if they put on the front line, they don't have no chance of coming home because they're going to do things that the next man wouldn't do.
Right.
So don't join no gang when you go in there and study that law and get out. And focus on self first. And love yourself.
Right. All right. And now we're going to switch it just a little bit to what would you give somebody that's in your position, that's going to be in your position in maybe the next 6 months or a year right now, saying after doing a long period of time, but they got out. Like, what was the, could you give some of your hurdles or different things you had to overcome by getting out, making the transition, basically?
I mean, I believe I was blessed when I got out.
Okay.
And it wasn't so hard for me because I already knew good men who was in position to help me out. So what I had to do is really focus and believe in myself. So if you just getting out and you try to do this, you gotta have faith in yourself and believe in yourself and know that you have a second chance.
Right.
And that's what I had, a second chance. And you get the second chance, take advantage of it.
Okay.
And don't, do things that, you might see another man with it, doing good. Your man might, got money, got nice cars.
Right.
And just because you see him with that, you don't have to have it because you got a second chance in life.
Exactly.
You free again.
Yeah.
So that's what I learned, that I'm free. Now, I want nice things, but I want it the right way.
Right.
So I don't want, have to be look behind my back or, police stopping me, whatever. Because, I went through that when I was younger.
Right.
So this second chance, take fully advantage of it.
Okay. Thank you, man. And I say that's pretty much it. You got anything you want to say? Any shout? Oh, and before we do that, before we wrap it up, I did hear, that you got a clothing line, Adorable Daughter.
Yeah.
So can you tell me what that's about and like how you came up with the name and what's the meaning behind it?
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, Adorable Daughter came from when I was incarcerated.
Okay.
You get a lot of guys, not a lot of guys, but you get guys coming in who molested little children.
Okay.
Rape females. Beat females.
Okay.
And I always say, man, that, I ain't never deal with them and I ain't never liked rapists.
Okay.
At all.
I understand.
So that's why I came up with Adorable Daughter, that, everybody has a daughter. Men are fathers.
Right.
So these men is, taking advantage of little girls, taking advantage of women. So I say adore them before you hurt them.
Right.
Love them give them a chance to grow up. Give them life a chance to live.
Right.
Let them live. Don't go out there raping them and hurting them.
Right.
So I never liked it. That's why I came up with Adorable Daughters.
Okay. So Adorable Daughters, and guessing you can find this on Instagram. But we'll drop the link below where you can catch up with Daryl and find out where to get this merch at right here. This Adorable Daughter, And before we go, you got any shout outs or anything you want to say and end it?
Yeah, I mean, to the guys who still fighting to get out, man, y'all not alone. You got good men out here trying to, reach out to y'all as I have been. And y'all know I know the law and I talk to several good men. Just continue to fight, man, do right. While you in there and focus on yourself. That's the best advice I can get you. Focus on yourself and believe in yourself.
Okay. Thanks, man. Appreciate you coming out, cuz, man. Letting us have you, man, to get you on the show.
You already know.
This gonna end this series, this episode of Trauma Talk Podcast here with me, Presto, Project Purpose. We're gonna go peace out. First one for 2025. And like you said, man, adore your daughters, man. I definitely got 3 daughters myself, so I adore them as well. And we, my 3 daughters that I got, I adore them as well. So everybody adore their daughters, Also adore your sons too, but right now we're just talking about this because it's a nice brand right here that I'm down to support. And until the next time, we'll see y'all, all the good men in the struggle, all the women in the struggle. Keep your head up and keep fighting, man. Focus on yourself first. We out.